Relief tonight on KGW News after 2 days of record-breaking heat. Plus, the tragic accident that has St. Helens mourning a longtime city leader.
Nothing really happened without John at least getting his hands on it, working it, and doing things to make the community better.
And police say 2 shootings in Vancouver over the weekend, both involving teens, one of them fatal.
Not a fun sight to be watching people getting shot in basically your own front yard.
Then, new at 11, the Portland bar and chef that both just won the Oscars of the culinary world. But we begin tonight with a live look over the Rose City after 2 record-breaking days of extreme heat across our region. The good news, relief, we hope you're already feeling it, is finally moving in. Thanks for joining us. David Molko here, along with Chief Meteorologist Matt Svino. Matt, I have to say, while it's taken a while to cool off, it feels great.
It's getting there, yeah. It's a lot better than it was, of course, at 5 o'clock this afternoon when we're in the upper 90s. And it's going to be a lot cooler tomorrow. Hey, that was Venus, really beaming brightly in the western skies, hanging low right now. This is from our camera in the Dalles. Still 85 degrees there, and look at the west wind beginning to pick up in the gorge at 15 miles an hour. Not super strong, but it indicates that the onshore flow is beginning to kick in. The winds are light in the Portland area. As we look down the valley, we've had a west wind or a northwest wind in Corvallis. That's a good sign. And southwest winds at Astoria, also a good sign that that marine layer is beginning to push through the Coast Range, up the Columbia River, and into the valleys. We're sitting at 74 degrees in Portland right now, but some other places are quite a bit cooler, like McMinnville at 67 and Corvallis down to 72 and 67 in Kelso. So again, that's an indication that that cooler air is beginning to move into the valley. As it does, we're running about 5-6 degrees cooler now compared to the same time last night, and that's significant because you know, every degree matters when you start dropping 5-6 degrees, and that is noticeable. We no longer have any heat warnings or advisories in the Portland area. There is up around the Puget Sound, but that'll expire later on tonight or tomorrow morning. We do have fire weather warnings, though, out in the Columbia River Gorge and the Columbia Basin because of strong winds that will develop tomorrow. So much cooler on Tuesday, staying in the 80s. There's no rain in the forecast, but there's also no more extreme heat, at least for a while, David.
Hey, and that's great news. Thanks, Matt. Developing tonight, a memorial is growing in St. Helens, where the community is mourning its longtime city administrator presumed dead after accidentally falling into the Columbia. Alma McCarty's in the newsroom. Alma, from what I've seen, it seems like this has deeply affected a lot of people.
David, certainly has. This afternoon, city officials announced the search and rescue mission for John Walsh had transitioned to a recovery effort. Staff there say they are not okay, heartbroken by the passing of a colleague and friend.
Tragedy in St. Helens.
The Columbia River, it gives life, and unfortunately it can take life.
That community now in mourning after City Administrator John Walsh fell from these docks and into the Columbia Saturday night. He never resurfaced.
Really loved his kids, loved his wife, and was never said a bad thing about anyone, and was really an attribute to this community.
Nicholas Helmick is one of the many who've stopped at a memorial to pay their respects.
It broke my heart, it really did.
City staff say at this time there's no suspicion of foul play, despite an exhaustive search involving multiple agencies. As of Monday night, Walsh has yet to be recovered from the river.
I was just shell-shocked. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a nightmare, and there's no way this could be real right now. The city's already going through enough as is, and to lose one of our pillars is just really made me really sad.
Leaders say he was more than a city administrator for the last 14 years. He was a dedicated citizen, a legacy builder for the city of St. Helens, and a friend. St. Helens staff sharing on social media that they are grieving alongside his family and that there have been moments of tears and moments of laughter and all the mixed emotions that come with the loss of someone you have known for so long.
I mean, he ran the city day to day. You know, without John, it's going to be a huge negative to our city right now, and nothing really happened without John at least getting his hands on it, working it, and doing things to make the community better.
St. Helens City Hall will be closed to the public this week with the exception of scheduled city council meetings and municipal court proceedings on Thursday. David?
Alma McCarty in the newsroom there. Thanks so much, Alma. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, Portland police have released new evidence in their search for a missing woman they believe could be in danger. This is 84-year-old Geraldine Jackson. She was on board a TriMet bus that dropped her off in Old Town around 7:30 this morning. This is the latest photo from authorities. They say Jackson left her home in southeast Portland about 90 minutes earlier. She's around 4'10" with blue eyes and black and gray hair. Anyone who sees her should immediately call 911. Portland fire crews battled at least 2 house fires in 90-plus degree heat today. The latest this evening along Northeast Irving, where crews had to deal with an arcing power line overhead. It was a similar story this afternoon in southwest Portland off Garden Home, where a backyard shed caught fire, spreading flames to the main house. Rick Graves saying the extreme heat makes their jobs that much harder.
They are designed to breathe a little bit, but it's quite honestly, it is really like throwing on your ski outfit right now and running around outside. So getting on all of your winter clothes and then doing work. It does cause quite a bit of impediments as we move forward.
Brutal. We appreciate the work they do every day. In both cases, crews knocked down the flames before they could spread to neighboring properties. No one was injured. We have now learned the name of the pilot who died in a small plane crash near Hillsborough. Authorities have identified him as 49-year-old Keith Irwin from Warren in Columbia County. Investigators say he was the pilot of an experimental plane that went down on takeoff Friday afternoon from the Twin Oaks Airport. Irwin was the only person on board. The NTSB is now investigating. And we have new video of a fighter jet crashing in Yakima County, Washington. Wow, moments after the pilot safely ejected. The plane crashed into the hillside Saturday afternoon, sparking a small wildfire there. The Marine Corps says it was an FA-18 Hornet on a routine training exercise. No one was injured, and no word yet on the cause. New tonight, Vancouver police are searching for suspects after 2 shootings over the weekend, both involving teenagers, and one of which turned deadly. Catherine Cook spoke with witnesses.
Just after 12:30 Monday morning, neighbors heard gunfire on East 35th Street and Creston Avenue in Vancouver. Police responded to find someone doing CPR on a 19-year-old man lying in the street. Officers tried to save him, but he died. Police say witnesses reported some 25 to 30 teens in the street and bullets flying. One neighbor showed us where a bullet struck their car. Others described what appeared to be a large party at this short-term rental on the corner. Police say 2 other people were injured. They say one appeared to be hurt in a physical fight. Neighbors tell us another, a girl, was shot. Both survived. It was a violent weekend in Vancouver. Police say the night before and 2.5 miles away, another shooting. This one at Evergreen Park on East 4th Plain.
Gunshots.
Neighbor Robert Dowell heard them around 11:30 Saturday night.
Not a fun sight to be watching people getting shot in basically your own front yard.
Police say 2 boys, 16 and 17 years old, were treated at the hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. For neighbors like Kathy Ridgway, the violence is disheartening.
We as Americans have lost our morality, and that's really sad, and I don't know if it's even possible to get it back.
Back on Creston Avenue, neighbors are just sad, wondering how a young life ended on their street. Vancouver police are investigating both shootings, but don't believe they're connected. So far, there's no word on any suspects. Police say they're grateful for any information and video from the public. In Vancouver, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
We're going to point the finger back at the governor, the state hospital, and the legislature to demand that they do their job to protect the community. We can't do it alone.
District attorneys from across the Portland Metro are once again sounding the alarm over a mental health system they say is failing all of us. The DAs are calling on state leaders to intervene in a federal lawsuit that dictates how the state hospital operates. Federal court has long ordered Oregon to quickly move defendants deemed mentally unfit to stand trial to the state hospital rather than leaving them waiting in jail. But the state repeatedly fell short of the benchmark. So on June 1st, here's what changed. A judge restricted which defendants the hospital must accept, essentially requiring hospitalization for only the more serious crimes. Now, prosecutors say other defendants who aren't fit to stand trial but do not meet that criteria simply have nowhere to go.
No other way to describe it other than decriminalization. Effectively, that is what the federal court is doing by limiting who may go and how long they may stay.
We have a lot of folks that are out on the streets that are floridly mentally ill, and we are unable to appropriately treat them and care for them.
Prosecutors are asking the state to follow through on its own recommendation for nearly 500 more psychiatric hospital beds. In an update, Washington's governor wants to speed up his timeline to ban cell phones in schools, calling it one of his top priorities. Governor Bob Ferguson's Away for the Day proposal would prohibit cell phone use for every public school K-12 student in the state while they are on campus. Now, currently, state law requires districts to study mobile phone use with a goal of a total ban by 2030.
Yeah, I don't need another study to know what needs to happen in our schools. You know, these devices just get in the way of learning. They get in the way of teachers being able to teach. And frankly, they get in the way of students interacting and having a positive environment in the schools.
Some parents have pushed back on the ban, while the governor says schools will work with them to ensure they can always reach their students. In Oregon, by the way, a statewide cell phone ban in schools with some exemptions is already in effect.